my name is Slim Shady. You know what I mean? We're reacting to 5 eras of Eminem. Which one is your favorite era of Eminem? Eminem is my favorite artist, favorite rapper. You know what I mean? I have my top five. It's Eminem, Jay-Z. Then, uh, Kanye West, I'll say Juice, and I'll say Drake. I'll put Drake in that bitch. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Because I was gonna put someone else, but I realized that Drake. I listened to more Drake than I listened to Kendrick. I realized I didn't even know, bro. Because I used to listen. I still do actually. I still listen to Drake and Kendrick, both of them. I listen to them, both of them. Like, but I just now realized that I listen to more Drake than Kendrick. But yeah, Eminem is my favorite artist, favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Of all time. Bro, that nigga. I listened to the whole Slim Shady LP, the Marshmallows LP, Eminem Show, whole of it. Now I'm trying to listen to. Now I'm just gonna listen to the whole of the Encore album. Still gonna listen to the whole Encore album. But yeah, let's go with my chapter one.
1. The Invisible Father. Long before the world knew him as Eminem, and long before he became a global phenomenon who could change the entire music industry with a single verse, he was just Marshall Mathers.
Marshall
In the
Bruce
mid-1990s,
Mathers. I know everything about this. I'm a stan, bro. I'm not even like a stan. I feel like I'm a I'm a I'm a you know what I mean? I'm a I'm a 10. I'm a 10, bro. I'm a fake stan. I'm a 10. I'm a fake stan super fan. I'm a fake super fan.
if you
I'm a
walk
fan, but I'm a fake super fan. Like I'm not that OD. I'm not that OD of this nigga, but it's like I'm a stan. Like false.
into a certain diner in the roughest, most dangerous neighborhoods of Detroit, you would have seen a skinny, quiet white kid washing dishes for less than $6 an hour. That was Marshall. He wasn't a rap
Getting
god
shoved in
back
the
then.
lockers
He
and
was
shit.
just a desperate 24-year-old father trying to survive. He was living in a cramped, unstable trailer park, moving from one dangerous neighborhood to another, and constantly stressing over how to buy diapers and baby formula for his
Haley.
newborn daughter, Haley. Music wasn't just a hobby for him, it was his literal oxygen, his only escape from a brutal reality, and his final gamble to save his family from starvation. In 1996, Marshall gathered every single penny he had and put his entire soul into recording his very first studio album, titled Infinite. He truly believed this project was his goal.
Infinite. Bro, if I feel like Eminem needs to like revamp this album. Like post like 20 he should have posted like 20 years of this 30 years of this album back last year. When did he release this album? He released this album to 995 months. So if it was 995, or maybe 996, I think 996, yeah. He's if this nigga like he needs to like release this album this year, like a 30-year anniversary of Infinite Dog. I want people to know this album. Some niggas don't even know this album. They still think Slim Shady LP is Eminem's first album. No, it's not.
Golden ticket, his one big shot to finally get out of poverty and prove his worth to the world. But when the album dropped, the reality was a devastating slap in the face. The album didn't just fail, it completely flopped. It sold only a few hundred copies, mostly out of the trunk of his car. The hip-hop community in Detroit completely rejected him. Local DJs and rappers literally laughed in his face, telling him that he was in the wrong genre and that he should just pack up his bags and stop rapping because white people had no place in hip-hop.
And it's crazy now because they say oh, Eminem is only big because he's white. If he was black, he would have sucked. He would have been an average rapper. He's only big because he's white and shit. And it's like because the same problem they saying about Eminem right now is the same problem that Eminem had to deal with at the start. Like he couldn't do anything because he was white. You know what I mean? They didn't want this nigga because he was white, because of Vanilla Ice and shit. He left Vanilla Ice literally, bro. He doomed the white rappers, bro. That nigga doomed the white rappers. He literally dropped the fucking what is this? Ice, ice, baby. Did it, did. Din, 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 din. Bro, he dropped that and it doomed people because it's like I feel like the staple back then it was like, oh yeah, the nigga they used the black culture and then they fucking switched after that. Like Mark Wahlberg, I didn't even know Mark Wahlberg was a rapper. Marky Mark, what you mean? um, bro, it's crazy. Beastie Boys, the Beastie Boys, they were they rappers? They were rappers, I think. But I feel like people don't know that though. They think Eminem is like the only rapper in the world. They like Eminem is an anomaly. You get me? Because people always say, "Oh, he's white, so that's why he's big." What about MGK? MGK literally left hip hop. What about the other niggas that flopped, bro? Slim Jesus, he was ass. You get me?
This brutal rejection completely broke him. The crushing guilt of failing as a father, combined with the humiliation from his peers, pushed Marshall into a pitch-black spiral of clinical depression. He felt completely invisible, hopeless, and useless, leading him to a dark rock-bottom moment where he actually tried to end his own life by overdosing. He felt like a ghost walking through life. But this is where the story takes a wild, unbelievable turn. This crushing defeat didn't destroy Marshall. Instead, it broke something vital inside his brain and flipped a dangerous switch. He realized that playing nice, being a good guy, and rapping about positive things had gotten him absolutely nowhere. He was tired of being stepped on. He needed a voice that could scream back at the world, someone angry, chaotic, and completely unfiltered, who didn't care about the consequences. And right there, in the deepest darkness of his despair, Marshall decided to kill his old self and create a monster that would soon shock the entire planet. Chapter 2. The Blonde Anarchy. By 1999, Marshall Mathers was officially done playing nice, and the monster he created in the dark had finally been unleashed upon the world. His name was Slim Shady.
Yes, sir.
To completely shock the system, Marshall did something visually radical. He bleached his hair platinum blonde, put on a baggy white t-shirt, and adopted a menacing, wide-eyed stare that looked straight into your soul. He caught the attention of legendary producer Dr. Dre, who recognized the raw genius behind the madness. Together, they released the Slim Shady LP, followed by the historic The Marshall Mathers LP. Almost overnight, Eminem went from a broke nobody washing dishes in Detroit to the most famous, feared, and talked about human being
What's
on
your
the planet.
guys' favorite album, bro? Like dead ass though. Like what's your guys' favorite album? Like dead ass. Like my favorite album is the Eminem Show, bro. No cap. Like Eminem Show gotta be like it just has unskippables. Like which song are you gonna skip? Eminem Show is okay. No. I could say Marshall Mathers LP has no skippables. Yeah, no skippables. I can't even lie. Like I would that has no. If I had to listen to like an album, Marshall Mathers LP, I would never skip any album, any song. Any song. Like Eminem Show, I feel like I would skip the song with Obi Trice. Which one is that? That's all I gonna know. Time. Drips. I feel like I'll skip Drips, dog. I feel like I'll skip Drips. Hold on.
But this wasn't just
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Okay, we're back.
ordinary fame. This was absolute, unadulterated chaos. The American public had never seen anything like this before. Slim Shady was the definition of pure anarchy. He released tracks that viciously attacked everyone, from mainstream pop stars like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera to powerful politicians and even his own mother and ex-wife, Kim. For millions of teenagers across the United States, Eminem became an instant anti-hero, a voice who spoke directly to their own anger and frustration. But for parents, religious groups, and the US government, he was public enemy number one. Politicians accused his lyrics of corrupting the youth. Human rights groups protested outside his concerts, and the United States Senate even held official congressional hearings just to discuss the psychological danger of Eminem's music. He was receiving death threats daily, got sued by his own mother for $10 million, and was constantly hunted by paparazzi everywhere he went. But here is the ultimate twist of this era. The more the establishment hated him, the more the youth worshipped him. Eminem used the media's outrage as free promotion, turning their backlash into fuel to become an untouchable giant. The peak of this madness came when he starred in his own semi-autobiographical movie, 8 Mile, and won an Academy Award for Lose Yourself, a milestone no rapper had ever achieved in history.
Rapper to do that.
He was standing at the absolute top of the world, generating hundreds of millions of dollars and breaking global sales records faster than anyone since Michael Jackson. However, living under the constant, suffocating pressure of being the most controversial man on earth began to rot his mental health from the inside out. Behind the curtains, to cope with the relentless scrutiny, Eminem began relying heavily on prescription pills. He had no idea that this massive golden era of success was actually leading him straight toward a silent, pitch-black abyss that would almost cost him his life. Chapter 3. The Silent Darkness. By 2005, the bright stadium lights had completely faded, and Eminem entered the most mysterious, frightening, and silent period of his entire life. The pressure of being the world's biggest anti-hero had finally broken him. Physically and mentally exhausted, he canceled his European tour and vanished from the public eye. For nearly 3 years, the man who used to dominate every television screen in America became a ghost. Rumors ran wild across the internet, with fans questioning where he was, what happened to him, and if he would ever return. But the truth behind closed doors was far more terrifying than any rumor. Eminem was locked in a brutal, private war against severe drug addiction, consuming a lethal cocktail of up to 30 prescription pills a day, including Valium, Vicodin, and Ambien. The tipping point into absolute darkness came in April 2006, when his absolute best friend and fellow D12 rapper, Proof, was tragically shot and killed at a nightclub in Detroit. Proof was Marshall's emotional anchor, the only person who truly knew him before the fame. His death completely shattered Eminem's world. Traumatized and alone, he used drugs to numb the agonizing pain, completely isolating himself inside his mansion. He gained an immense amount of weight, changing so drastically that he was completely unrecognizable. He was no longer the sharp, energetic Slim Shady. He was a broken man trapped inside a golden cage. This era is so eerie that it actually sparked one of the most famous internet conspiracy theories.
He's been cloned. Niggas really think he's been cloned. I saw a video. I saw a post. No, I put out a video. I saw a post saying comparing Eminem from 2006 and Eminem from 2024, and it's like, oh look, he looks different. His face looks different. I'm like, what are you talking about? First of all, Eminem has a beard now. He has a whole beard. Second of all, this nigga is like 50 something years old, gang. What you mean? Of course his face is gonna change, bro. When you get older, your face changes, dog. This is not rocket science. Like niggas, bro. I swear, people are just
US, that the real Eminem had died and Hollywood had replaced him with a clone. The climax of this silent nightmare occurred in December 2007. One night, Eminem collapsed on his bathroom floor after an accidental overdose of methadone. Doctors later revealed that he had consumed the equivalent of 4 bags of heroin, and his organs were rapidly shutting down. He was rushed to the hospital, barely clinging to life. When he finally woke up, his brain and motor skills were so damaged that he could barely speak or move his limbs, and he had to relearn how to talk and rap from scratch. The world thought the legend of Eminem was officially over, buried under the weight of Hollywood's.
Imagine if Eminem, like, passed away in 2007. Like, I would never, how would I even know this nigga? Like, he probably would have been, like, considered the GOAT, bro. If this nigga passed away in 07, he probably would have been considered the GOAT right now. Cause look at his resume. Look at his resume. Just the first half of his just the first half of his prime. Look at his resume. He has a Slim Shady LP, Eminem Show, Marshall Mathers LP. He has Encore. He has Grammys, of course. He has an Oscar. Like, he has a movie, 8 Mile. Like, look at his resume. His resume is already, like, fire, bro. If that nigga passed away in 07, shit, boy, I feel like he would be in the same conversation as because now people are still in denial that Eminem is so fucking talented. like the old heads, some of the old heads, they still in denial that Eminem is the GOAT. He is just better than everyone else. He's just better, bro. People are still in denial. So imagine if this nigga passed away in '07. Right now, he would have been in the same conversation as Tupac and Biggie. I swear, bro. I swear. If that nigga passed away in '07, he would dead ass be in the same conversation.
Dark curse. But just like a tragic movie script, this near-death experience became the exact spark he needed to execute the most unbelievable comeback in hip-hop history. Chapter 4. The Rebirth. In 2009, the hip-hop world was stunned when Eminem suddenly stepped back into the spotlight. But the man who returned was completely different from the one who had vanished into the darkness. The platinum blonde hair was gone, replaced by his natural dark hair. The chaotic, wide-eyed look of Slim Shady was replaced by a sharp, intense, and deeply serious gaze. Eminem was officially clean and sober, having dedicated himself to grueling physical workouts and hours of restudying his own past music just to learn how to write rhymes again. He titled his comeback album Relapse, followed quickly by the monumental Recovery. This wasn't just a new album cycle, it was a total reinvention of his entire persona. Audiences in the US and across the globe watched in awe as Eminem turned his private torment into massive stadium anthems. Songs like Not Afraid and his collaboration with Rihanna, Love the Way You Lie, didn't just top the Billboard charts, they became global anthems for survival, resilience, and conquering one's inner demons. He was no longer rapping about attacking pop stars or shocking parents for entertainment. Instead, he was screaming about his own vulnerabilities, his failures as a father during his addiction, and his ironclad determination to never fall again. This raw honesty unlocked a brand new demographic of fans. He became a symbol of hope for millions of people fighting their own silent battles, solidifying his status not just as a pop culture icon, but as a living legend. As the years rolled on in this era, Eminem focused on cementing his legacy as a technical rap god. In 2013, he released the Marshall Mathers LP2, featuring the track Rap God, where he broke the Guinness World Record for the most words packed into a single hit single, spitting a mind-blowing 97 words in just 15 seconds. Visually, he adopted a mature, rugged look, often sporting dark hoodies, leather jackets, and a look of pure focus. He had successfully done what many thought was impossible. He survived the dangerous curse of early 2000s superstardom that claimed so many others, rebuilt his mind and body from scratch, and reclaimed his throne at the absolute top of the music industry. But as hip-hop began to shift toward a new generation, a new battle was brewing on the horizon, forcing Eminem to prepare for his final and most creative war yet. Chapter 5. The Final Legacy. By 2018, the landscape of hip-hop had completely changed, dominated by a new wave of younger artists, streaming algorithms, and a trend known as mumble rap. Many critics openly wondered if a veteran like Eminem could still stay relevant in this modern era. Marshall's answer was swift and brutal. He completely changed his visual aesthetic once again, growing out a thick, dark beard, wearing black baseball caps, and carrying an expression of cold, calculated dominance. Without any warning or promotion, he dropped the album Kamikaze, followed later by Music to Be Murdered By. This was Eminem declaring war on the new generation, taking direct aim at critics and modern rappers who he felt were disrespecting the art form. But the absolute climax of this modern era, and perhaps the most creative masterstroke of his entire career, happened recently with the release of his concept album, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. In this chapter of his life, Eminem did something completely mind-blowing for his audience. Instead of fighting outside critics, he created a literal war within himself. The entire project is a brilliant, nostalgic battle where the mature, sober, and modern Marshall Mathers goes head-to-head against his own offensive 1999 alter ego, Slim Shady. It was a nostalgic, high-concept masterpiece that proved his pen was still as sharp as it was 2 decades ago, sending shockwaves through YouTube and TikTok as fans spent weeks dissecting the lore, hidden meanings, and complex lyricism of the tracks. Today, Eminem stands in an elite, untouchable category. He is no longer just a musician. He is a living monument of resilience in American pop culture. From the invisible, broke father in Detroit to the blonde, chaotic public enemy of the US government, through the silent, dark darkness of a near-death overdose, and finally to the bearded, wizened
Damn,
rap
bro.
god of the modern era. His journey is a masterclass in evolution. He outlived his demons, outsmarted the industry, and successfully buried the monster that made him famous. Marshall Mathers didn't just survive the 5 wildly different eras of his life, he conquered them all, solidifying his name forever as the ultimate survivor of music history.
Yes, sir. That's my goal, dog. That's my goal. He didn't fall off. He literally punched through the glass, dog. He was going on a decline. He was going on a decline to fall off. Then he realized, yo, wait, I'm Eminem. Nigga. What you mean? I'm fucking Marshall Bruce Mathers, the third. What you mean? Boom! Punched through. He had a second prime. He had one prime from 999 to 2007, I guess, because you get me? Because he overdosed and shit. And then he came back '09 till now. Come on, fucking mean, bro. But I think now it's time to react to the Tyler videos. The Tyler visualizers, but still, see you in another. You know what I'm saying?